Welcome back again, everyone. As I mentioned on the last video, that I will keep going with my front project, and this time we are going to get into the integration of Angular, Keycloak, and also Quarkus, but we will going one step at a time. So I think the first step should be going into the Angular and Keycloak. So when we are accessing the Angular endpoint on our localhost, which is going to be localhost for 4200, I guess, for the standard Angular endpoint, and then it will I will create a dummy we call it dummy login page. So when we click the login, it will send us to the Keycloak login page. Okay, so the first step that we are going to do, because I already made it a bit step further, so first we need to change something. Okay, so the first step is we start the Keycloak server from Docker. I think I already did it already, just to prepare some stuff. So if you see here, let me explain the container first. So we have a few Docker images here. For example, the hello world is from the Docker, and the Postgres swim app, if you see here, why I just highlighted. So this is the database application database, and this one, the Keycloak, it's the Keycloak itself. Okay, so in this Keycloak itself, they use their own database, which is going to be the H2, I guess. So it's on the Keycloak itself, and I already created also the Postgres Keycloak, which is going to save, or which is going to be the database for the Keycloak. And the swim app Keycloak, it's going to be the Keycloak itself to store the user, trainer, and administrator of the swim app. Okay, so the swim app, it's the database for the application. Keycloak is just a normal Keycloak without the database. The database is from the Keycloak itself, from the image, and the Postgres Keycloak is going to be the database PostgreSQL, but for the Keycloak later on. And swim app Keycloak, it's the Keycloak for setting for the storing the the user for the application. Okay, so first we are just starting to start the Keycloak here. If we, yeah, I think it's already up. See here. Okay, so the what you call it, the bootstrap admin and username is going to be admin and admin. Okay, so so the first step, we are going to test if our admin and admin user can generate a valid token. Okay, so yeah, and the second one I will show you. It's about the so the first step is going to start the Keycloak. We just did it. The second one, we add the AngularJS and Angular Keycloak for the Angular. So if you see here, number here 18. So here, Angular Keycloak and Keycloak Angular and Keycloak-js. If you see here, yeah. So you need to do this. I think you just use the CLI, Angular CLI. It's npm at keycloak-angular, npm at keycloak-js, something like that. It doesn't really too complicated. Okay, so we move to the next one. Yeah, I think we are going to is it the wait, I think we need to go to the HTML it's the public. So on the public we need to create this public, this one, the silent check dash silent dash check slash sso html. I got this from the documentation of the Angular JS and Angular Keycloak. So it's turning your page into a silent check of SSO. Okay, so I think most of this task that I explained today, it's going to be on the Angular JS and Angular Keycloak, but yeah, it took me a little bit longer. So rather than the code along, just like my previous videos, to give an example, I just try to made it first, and then I try to explain what I've done so far. Okay, so it will take me like 2-3 days to learn to connect the Angular and Keycloak, because this is the first time that I try to integrate front end to the Keycloak. So it's a bit of learning for me. Okay, so yeah, next step, you add this silent check sso html. It's pretty simple. You just go to the npm documentation, and not the Angular JS documentation on the GitHub, I think, for the Angular JS and Angular Keycloak, and it will provide you for the information. Okay, so the next one is going to be the app config ts. Most of the tutorials on the YouTube, I guess, they don't use a standalone component for the Angular. Therefore, they do such similar things in the app.module.ts. I think you're pretty familiar with that. If you are not using the standalone component style, you need to style your you need to configure your Angular in the app.module.ts. But since I'm using the standalone component style, I'm configured on the app.config.ts. Okay, so it's just a matter of the styling, doesn't matter. So first you are going to add this one here, provide HTTP client and with interceptors. This is really important. The HTTP client, it's for later on to call the backend from Angular, and with the interceptor is to get the token from the token that the Keycloak provides. So it can be read to the backend. Okay, so by default, the Angular JS library or framework, should I say, doesn't automatically get the token. So therefore we need to add this one, the interceptor, so we can show to the backend that we have this bearer. Okay, so I also give an explanation here. Configure the HTTP client interception to manage the bearer token. So the library AngularJS doesn't automatically add the bearer token to request. Therefore, we need to configure and use the interceptor. Okay, this is really important. And yeah, these are the keys, I think, from the keycloak-angular library. So you have to provide the keycloak. Auto refresh token is like some additional, but it's also really important when the token time limit is gone, or when the token time limit is already passed, they refresh automatically. And the same thing, you can get the user activity. Yeah, this is the interceptor condition, and this also include bearer token condition. So later it's going to catch our token. This is also the interceptor here, and then configuration of the interceptor, and all of them are from the Keycloak-angular. Okay. Then next, we need to define the URL condition for the interceptor condition, and then it's going to be the URL where we access that endpoint. Okay, so I already used the localhost 8080. It's from the Quarkus because I already at the step where I call it the backend from the Angular, but now we change here first from the Angular perspective. So we just test it from the Angular. We don't read the token and pass it to the backend. We just do it from the Angular first. Okay, I think all of them, so all the decorators is backslash slash asterisk question mark, it's from the I think it's when you do the testing, like Linux for example, you do backslash and also slash with, so it's just any condition before the localhost and after the localhost, so it's something like that. And the prefix, it's a better. Okay, so that's the URL condition. We set it up, and then next is the configuration. And yeah, we create this application configuration object with the provider, and from the provider you have to provide this. This is for the backend part, but I'm just gonna explain myself here. So the provide HTTP client, you have to add this HTTP client, and this with interceptors, and add this include bearer token interceptor. Okay, otherwise the backend couldn't read the token. So normally I didn't use this one because I don't know how to get it, but now with the interceptors you have to give the arguments on the HTTP client, which is going to the interceptor. Okay, so to add some feature of the refresh token, which I already said, it's going to be a auto refresh token service from the Keycloak-angular. And then this also the really important part, when we add the provide keycloak object, so we need to some configuration. So it's from the URL where the keycloak sends the token. It's from the keycloak. This is the realm that I already created, and it's the client ID. Okay, I think I mentioned some of this topic also on my demo project, but I will go through it quickly again today. So this is the option. This is the really important part that we already set the silent check SSO HTML. It's for here. Yeah, it's when this load, it's automatically check SSO, and then we are going to have the URI of the silent check SSO. This is going to be the HTML file that we created on the public, or sometimes they call it also assets. And the features that we added, the auto refresh token after 5 minutes, and then what does it do when when there is no inactivity, it will be automatic logout. Okay, so yeah, and we have to also to provide the include bearer token interceptor configuration with the value of the URL condition that we already provide up above here. Okay, so that's all I think for the config.ts. Okay, yes, now we are going to test it, I guess. So we are going to the document, to my root project folder, and to the front end. Oh, wait, no, back end, front end. Okay, and then we just have to go for ng-serve, I guess. Oh yeah, wait, I need to do also something. I show you the dummy this is just the dummy button, as you will see. Okay, and then this also the logic behind the login, logout, profile token, get username, and callback and functions. So yeah, So on the application.ts or the TypeScript file, the logic is here. We inject the keycloak object here and create an instance. And so I think it's from the library. When we call the keycloak.login, it will send us to the login page of the keycloak, log out, going out, and we try to retrieve our profile and also the token. Okay, and we'll see it after we log in. Okay, so this is the with a dummy page or something like that. Oh, second. Okay. Oop. So it's I think here. So you see it, swim management system. Let me open the inspect. Okay, so when we click login, okay, so it's the keycloak login page as you see it, and we just do it in admin. Okay, so it's successfully login, and if you see here on the console, so we are logged in as admin. If you click username, it's already there, it's admin, but profile, it's admin again. And then if we click the token is here. Okay, later we will integrate this one, this token, and try to integrate it with the backend, and also validates it with the keycloak itself. Okay, now the call backend is not working yet because we are not activating our backend. But yeah, if you see here the token is there. Okay, so I think the functionality is there. Okay, so the next step, we are going to integrate with the backend. Okay. Yeah, just a quick explanation of the Docker files. So I'm running the Postgres keycloak from the Docker here, from the compose file, and also for the keycloak image. Okay, so yeah, it's a pretty standard setting. So okay, yeah, I think that's all. It's running. That's all the TS part. Okay, and now we are going to just log out first, and then what we are going to do next is that I think I'll show you localhost 8081. It's admin. We need to sign in again. Okay, just a quick one again. This is the realms. This is the project realms, the project. Yeah, and then sorry, I'll show you again this one. Manage realms, master. If we click the users, I already created an admin here. Okay, so it's the admin. Yeah, the admin that I already created here. Yeah, so but it's on the master realm just to test it. Okay, but on the Dio project here, if you see on the I already created also. This is the the administrator, rim roles, clients. Oh, we create the this is the client swim app. Okay, and user. But because you see here as a user, because we still use the keycloak database itself. Okay, we're not using the Postgres keycloak for the application. Okay, so again, when you set up this, you just go to manage realm. If you want to create a new realm, just create realm. Just a real name, and just create here. Okay, and then create user, create roles, something like that. And it's really important if you want to import your realm, you go to realm settings, but you have to choose whichever realm you need to export, excuse me. For example, in my case is the project here. You go to realm settings, and on action you go for partial export. Okay, and you will get the realm export JSON file, and then in my case I'll save it here on the I think there's keycloak, yeah, keycloak realm. If you see here, keycloak realm export JSON files. Okay, this is the realm that I already exported. It's really important because when you are activating the Quarkus, it will look for this. If you see the setting again here, it will look for the realm, so you don't have to create again, especially if you're already setting up most of your realm before you integrate Keycloak with Angular or Quarkus. So it's really useful. So if you see here on the Keycloak image, so you see the volume, the realm is going to be copied from the Keycloak realm. Okay, and then it will be saved on opt directory keycloak keycloak data and import. Okay, so that's the explanation a little bit. And then now we are going to do for our integration again. Now we stop the Keycloak, stop the Keycloak image here. Okay, if you see Docker, so it's already stopped it. The Keycloak, we just let the Postgres or Swim app database running. Now we are going to activate the Swim app Keycloak and the Postgres Keycloak. Okay, so now docker start Swim app Keycloak and sudo start Postgres Keycloak. Let's see if it's running. So I think I need to do it in order because, yeah, you see, because this Swim app Keycloak, it depends on the Postgres Keycloak, so I think I should be running the Postgres Keycloak first, then Swim app. Let's do it again. Start Swim app Keycloak. So let's see if it's working. Starting, hopefully it will. Okay, it's starting. Is it? Well, now we just look at here. Okay, cool. It's there. Okay, we started the Keycloak and the database Postgres Keycloak. Now we are going to change the what do you call it? No, Swim app front end. It's the src app config. Yeah, we are going to change this one into AT again. Where the okay. Nice. And then don't forget to configure your application properties, Quarkus application properties. see main resource. Yeah, so for the Keycloak, you need to provide these settings: Quarkus OIDC authentication server, auth server URL to be your Keycloak URL here, and your client ID. It is for the validating the token that we get from the Angular, so make sure you set this properly. And then for the course or cross-origin resource setting, I guess. So you have to enable this one, and you have to define the origin. It's going to be the Angular endpoint 4200, and all the methods here in the authorization, it's also allow credential to be true. Okay, otherwise it's not going to work. So this is really important, the course configuration. Okay, and then yeah, after that, this also really important is this we create the test endpoint. Java resources, no, main Java resources. Okay, this admin resource is just the test endpoint that we are going to use, so that the front end can be front end or Angular can call this API. So it's the API/me just to get the username, and then yeah, it's pretty standard, and you have to provide this authenticated from the IO Quarkus security. So you secure the endpoint with that one, and we inject the security identity. It's from the Quarkus security also, and we create a get endpoint which return. Why did I use map? Because the HTTP client from Angular will expect a JSON. Therefore, we need to map this string into a JSON, so it will say the username and the name. Otherwise, if we are returning this as a string, it will create an error, but it will give us 200 OK, but it will say failed to recognize the content. Okay, because it's not JSON. Okay, so yeah, it's really simple, I guess. It's just to get the, and now we are going to wait. Yeah, so yeah, this is the interceptors. We talked about that one. Now we close this one, and then on the, I think it's on the, yes, front end rc app config, no, appts. Okay, so yeah, so this, the callback end method is we inject the HTTP client first with the HTTP, and then the call backend method, it's the HTTP itself, and the get method, the URL that I already show you on the backend. It has to match the backend, and then yeah, we provide a response, and then if it's error, then there will be an error. Okay, so the standard error that the HTTP use. So that's all. And then yeah, on the HTML, just call another we just create a dummy button, call it callback end. And what should I show you again? Oh, don't forget also add the the dependency. It's also really important. Okay, so the important one is the Quarkus restriction, of course. I think everyone's sure already. Okay, this one is really important. Quarkus Keycloak admin REST client. Okay, and also the Quarkus OIDC for the security to automatically validate it. Okay, yeah, I think we are ready to test it. Yeah, okay, so now we are going to the management system again, backend. Wait, I think we need to run the backend first. I think we just do this. Okay, and then we just run the Quarkus from here. Hopefully there will be no error, but let's see. Okay, great. Now we are ready to test. We log in. Oh yeah, just for your information, this login is not going to be an admin again because I already create a parent just to test it. Okay, so it's if I try to log in with the admin, I think it will be fail. Okay, it's correct because I don't have any admin users on my realm. Okay, it will be a parent, password parent again, and we sign in. Cool. Okay, it's login. You see here, so the giving us the parent role. If we inspect on the console, parent. Okay, so if we click profile, you see here token, it's working. Okay, get username, it's already here parent. If you see here, now this is the moment. If we call the backend, it should be giving us the result okay here. Okay, so call the backend. Okay, so we get the username parent. Okay, that reflects our code here, username here. Okay, it means that our integration from Angular, Quarkus, and Angular Keycloak and Quarkus is working fine. Okay, so what we did actually is so if I would like to summary a little bit up today, so we create an Angular endpoint. Okay, and we create a dummy button, login. It's going to Keycloak. The Keycloak give us an what you call it, token, and then we create an endpoint on the back end side, and we try to fetch the token from the Angular. Once we fetch, we validate it to the Keycloak again, and if it's if the Keycloak said okay, it's validating, and then they give us this username parent. Okay, because we secure our endpoint here. Okay, so it's from the Keycloak Quarkus login to Keycloak. So Quarkus get the token that it provide, validates it okay, and we get the result here. If not okay, I think we need to go back to login page again, as I already show you with the admin stuff. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all. The next step, probably I will go for the registration, login, and creating parents, and then create swimmers. Okay, so hopefully yeah, you guys find it useful, and we'll see on next video. Thank you.